Cool. Hey Mel, thanks for joining me.
No worries.
So I've just got a couple of questions about this awesome method that we have both been introduced to and both facilitate. So the first question is, how were you introduced to this method?
Oh, I've been friends with Maz on Facebook forever. Feels like it. And was introduced to her a long time ago. And I sort of watched her create this. And it has always enthralled me. And I always wanted to reach out and say, what is that? Because I knew I needed it. I knew on a deep down level that I needed it. But I was too scared to reach out. Um, it's funny because I think I needed it to break me through my shit. Can I say that? To break me through my shit so that I knew that I could do it and I could say yes to me. That's probably what held me back from asking about it for a long time is I was hesitant to spend the money on me, the time on me. And so, yeah, I watched it get created. And the only thing I can say now is, damn, I wish I'd reached out a whole lot sooner.
Yes. So saying that, what were you actually struggling with?
Um, do you know what? It was something that I could never really put my hand on. And I think a lot of people feel like that. Like they know that something's not right, but they can't say, oh, well, it's definitely this, or I definitely feel that. Um, Looking back now, definitely was never good enough. Um, I came across as really confident and people never would have known it, but my self-worth and my self-talk was really in the toilet. Um, and I'd suffered. Look, I just felt like shit. I just knew that I had to feel better. And I knew that, or I guess I hoped, I probably didn't know because I guess I hoped that there was something that could help me and that could help me find more peace in life. I never knew that peace was what I was seeking. And I'd tried everything. Like I'd tried so many things. And I think I'd just come to the conclusion that nothing works. And that I was just stuck like this and just had to learn to deal with this and, go write your affirmations and go do your journaling and think positive and you'll be fine. But I did all of that and nothing worked. Still deep down inside, I felt like shit. And so when something triggered me, I'd just, I'd lose it and I didn't know how to control that. And my family walked on eggshells around me. Do you know what I think it probably was? Is there was a moment I can remember my mum screaming at me when I was an adult. She was staying here in my house screaming at me. And I can remember looking at her thinking, my God, that right there is why you're not good enough and why you'll never be good enough. And I felt like I didn't want my kids to ever feel like that. I didn't ever want my children to feel like that around me. And I think that is probably the catalyst that made me go, something's wrong here. You need to work on this. Like, why not give this a go and see if it works?
Mm, yeah, cool.
I had nothing to lose.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that and that
Yep.
unsettled feeling inside.
Yeah. And I could, like I said, I could never put my finger on it and say, oh, well, this is what is wrong with me. It was just, there had to be a better way to feel.
Mm.
And I think like you watch all of these people around you who seem to have their life together. I mean, I've since worked out that nobody's really got their life together. We're all just kind of fumbling our way through the dark, trying to work it out as best as we can. But I think I looked at all these other people feeling like they were happier than me, that things just worked out for them, that there was something wrong with me. I think that's what I
Mm.
felt deep down inside was there was something wrong with me and I was just always going to feel like this. So, um, yeah, I was desperate for a change, desperate.
Mm. Mm. So, who would you say you were before doing this process?
Extremely defensive, extremely defensive. I could not take criticism. Um, and if I didn't outwardly show you, if I didn't outwardly defend myself or get, my back up and back at you, inside I was just absolutely crushed. Felt like an imposter. Um, that one day people would see through me, that I really probably didn't know what I was doing, or I was pathetic or useless or whatever. I was angry, and I never realized that I was angry. I think anger is one of those funny emotions, especially with women, that we're not allowed to be angry. And so I kind of pushed that down, and it came out in other ways. I wasn't a very nice person. Like, I'm so grateful that my husband stuck with me over all of these years, um, because he probably saw me at my very worst, very defensive. I get in one of those moods, where like you just want to pick a fight with someone.
Mm.
And so I would just nitpick and nitpick and nitpick at him, just waiting for him to arc up and fight me back. And then I'd be like, oh, right, and could have a go at him. Because there was that defensive attitude of always needing to protect myself. Like there was this innate need to never let the guard down. Like I was never able to let my guard down with anybody, which was exhausting.
Mm. Mm. So what would you say has been the biggest change for you?
Relationships, hands down. You make me cry because I have said time and time again, look, see, get teary. I've said time and time again, I've no doubt that without this, I would be getting divorced from my hubby. I think he would have got to the point where he was just like, enough's enough, and he couldn't do it anymore. And, I think he probably would have stuck around for the kids. But with my kids leaving in, like, my youngest will be finished school in 2.5 years. And I've got no doubt that come towards the end, if we'd lasted to that, he would have just turned around in the end. I think I would have sabotaged relationships with my kids. I don't have a relationship with my mum. And I didn't want that for my children. I didn't want to be the person that they were worried about triggering, or not knowing how I was going to react, or I just wanted to be a safe place to fall for my kids. And I wanted them to know that no matter what the world threw at them, I was their safe place, and that they could always come back to me and I would be there. And that's something that I didn't really have. So I wanted to be that safe place. It's allowed me to leave relationships that were really quite toxic. In other ways, it's allowed me to see through people, I think. And what it is, I can recognize a user more. Do you know what I mean? Like that person who just wants to use you up. I can recognize that and see that so much quicker now, and just go, not going to be a part of that. And I've been able to walk away from some of those relationships. I think because I value myself so much more, I demand that people value me. And if they don't, I'm able to just go, and not in a nasty way, go like, oh, screw you, but just go, you know what? That relationship's just not for me. And I'm able to just walk away from it with no guilt. Like that's the big thing. Like, when you walk away from a relationship and you just feel, oh, maybe I should have tried harder. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I could have this, blah, blah, blah. Not anymore. I'm just able to go, you know what? We just don't resonate. I can see, and I can normally see that they probably have some healing to do. But I just wish them well and wish them on their way. And I don't need to bring that toxicity into my life anymore. So, and I can hold boundaries better in relationships too, which has been huge. So I think relationships are everything. Like the relationship I have with myself is better, with my family is better, with my friends is better. Just all of my relationships are a whole new level now.
So awesome to hear.
It is.
Oh, oh, awesome. So, who else has noticed the changes then?
Definitely my hubby. And it took him a while. It's been a couple of years now since I started the whole process. And it's taken him a while to actually realize that he can have a conversation with me, and he can have a really prickly conversation with me. And we are able to have deep discussions now that I never would have been able to have before this, because they would have triggered me. I would have got defensive, picked up my bat and ball and left and, gone home. I would have just stormed out and not taken part in it. So he's definitely noticed it. My bestie, Beck, who's actually been through this process as well, we talk all of the time, and quite often we'll just pick each other up, and she'll just pick me up sometimes in a conversation and go, "Do you hear what you just said then?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's really different," isn't it? Like, that is cool. Like, because she knows what I was like beforehand, that she sees how different I am now. And my kids, I feel different with my kids, and I don't think they really kind of realize what it is, but definitely as they're coming into their teenage years or they're going through their teenage years, I would hope that they have seen the difference too. And friends, I've had friends say to me, I mean, I don't see it. I look the same when I look in the mirror, just a few more wrinkles. But they say to me, it's in your eyes. Your eyes look different. Like there is a piece in your eyes that wasn't there before. So it's definitely noticed.
And how awesome that they get to see that piece within.
Yeah, and I've described it, like someone said to me, like, what do you mean? Like, describe the piece. And it's if you're a mum, you know what it is to love your kids. And we're watching a friend of ours go through it right now. She's got a brand new little baby. I know you know who I'm talking about. And it's like, and she's even said it, that the love you feel for a child is like nothing else. And you do not understand it, and you will never understand it until you've got your own kids. You can't. For me, that's what the peace is like. I never knew what peace felt like. And I know I've had some moments where I'm just sitting. I've done a lot of work one week, and I can remember sitting on the couch on Friday night, after doing all this work on ourselves for the week. And I just kind of sat there and I went, it's really weird. Like, it's really quiet. Like, my mind is really quiet. There's nothing going on. And I thought, oh, this is peace. Like, where everything just shut off and I wasn't dissecting everything and I wasn't pulling myself apart and I wasn't analyzing everything. I was just literally sitting there in the moment, being. And you read a million books, just be at peace and just be present in the world. This has given me the gift to be present without those thoughts spiraling and taking me somewhere else.
Yes. Yes, I totally can resonate with that. And, you would always hear, you have the answers within. And again, this is the process to access that.
Yeah, 100%. That's my hubby just knocking at the door going, what are you doing?
Hi,
Go away.
hubby. I had a feeling you was there.
Yeah.
And so for those out there who are thinking this is too good to be true, what would you like to say to them?
Me too. I thought that too. 100% I thought that too, because, like I said to you, I'd tried so many things, hypnosis and NLP and timeline therapy, and I'd read every book and done everything, and nothing changed. And you would go through that moment where you felt really good for a week or two, or, you'd try and bring a new habit in. And so things would feel, you'd start exercising and all of a sudden, you got those endorphins running and things would be cool. But sooner or later, you fell off the treadmill. This doesn't require you to journal or do something every day. It is learning at such a deep level that you don't even need to think about it, that it just is. And if you were thinking about it, I would say don't waste another day. Don't waste another day sitting in your shit thinking, I wonder if, because man, I sat back and watched that for 7 years and I just wish I'd reached out earlier.
Mm, mm. And that leads into this question. So if you could say one thing to ladies out there that are sitting on the fence, that are curious about this method, what would you like to say to them?
Reach out and talk to us about it. We're not scary. And I think probably the biggest thing is, this is what worried me, okay? I worried that if I reached out and said, excuse me, can you tell me about that? that it was going to be like reaching out to a salesperson going, oh, I'm kind of interested in that. And then literally getting emails every day and texts every day and getting hounded and harassed. And when are you going to? That is probably one of the reasons I didn't reach out, is because I didn't want to be henpecked, so to speak, about doing something. We're not like that. It's totally different. And because of the way we do things, I love how we don't chase people, because we don't need to. When you are ready to reach out, you will reach out. So know that if you do, we've got you. You are safe with us. And I think the incredible thing about working with us is that we've been where those people have been, and we've been where those women have been, and we know what it's like to sit in our shit. And we know, man, the shame was so deep, Shannon, like so deep. I can't even begin to tell you how deep the shame was, that I didn't want to share any of that with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to. Like, we don't need to know. I think the way that what we do is so incredible. We don't need to know the story. We don't need to know the reasons. We don't need to know the why. We just need to know that you have had enough and you don't want to feel like that anymore. And we can help you. And if you reach out and say, hey, tell me more, and we do tell you more, and then you ghost us, that's on you. We're not going to chase you. And that's, I need to say that because I know that's something that I was terrified of, was somebody chasing me. And we don't do that. I think the way that we operate is so outside of the sphere of how the self-development world works, that, look, we're extraordinary.
100%, Mel. The way that this is set up is in favor of how us women work, but it's also set up in a way because we do offer that money back guarantee.
Absolutely.
So if we have to chase people, we can't offer a money back guarantee if they're not going to do their part.
No, that's it, 100%. And you know what? And that's probably one of the things that made me finally go, yes, is I thought, well, if it doesn't work, I really have lost nothing. You know, I really have lost nothing. And I really haven't lost, well, I've lost a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've gained me back and I've gained my life back. And it's been incredible. It's been the best journey. And I just want to keep going, because it just, every day, I don't know if you've ever heard of the compound effect.
Yes.
Where, like, if you just make a little change every day, the way that it compounds, like compound interest, is just phenomenal. I feel like I'm living my life in the compound effect, that every day just gets better and better and better. And I am just like, bring on tomorrow, because like this is just golden.
Absolutely. And I love that analogy that you say, because I've said that to Adam many times. It's the compound effect.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's like someone's taken the blinkers off and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's a world out there. Like, that's really cool.
And I'm a part of that world.
Yeah, I am. And I'm a part of that world without questioning myself, without doubting myself, without worrying what you're going to think about me. It's freeing. It's just absolutely freeing. It's amazing. We're blessed, very blessed, I always say.
Absolutely. And so the last question that I have for you, it's actually to the men out there. So the men that have a beautiful lady in their life and they see her struggling, she could be struggling with her self-esteem, her self-worth, her emotions could potentially be all over the place, or she's just bombarded with stress. What would you like to say to the men out there that see their lovely lady struggling?
Support her to do this, because you will change her life, but in changing her life, the benefits that you will reap will just be extraordinary. I've been married to my hubby for 23 years now, and I can honestly say, hands down, we are happier than we have ever been. We laugh more than we have ever laughed. We have more love than we have ever had. Like, it is just extraordinary. And all of that came around because of this. And so, hands down, just support her and encourage her, because sometimes we find it really hard to say yes to ourselves.
Yeah.
Happy to buy stuff for my kids all the time, happy to buy stuff for my hubby all the time, but investing in me, whew, that was a whole other kettle of fish that, yeah, that I didn't know, but that ripple effect that it has had on everybody. So just support her and encourage her to do it. Absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for
You're
being
very welcome.
here. It's been so
Thank
awesome
you for
chatting to
asking me.
you. Oh, you're welcome. Let's share this message far and wide so that we can collectively set those hearts free.
Absolutely. You know what that is? I've been saying for years, my dream is a world where women just stand in their strength unapologetically in a healthy way. Like I think we're going, look, it's a bit of a divisive conversation, really, isn't it? But I think that we can go in a way where things aren't equal and we tilt the scales completely back the other way.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's not how we're gonna change the planet.
No.
And so I think women standing in their strength unapologetically will change the world and encourage others that they can make the change. You know, and that's the world I want to leave to my kids at the end of the day, a world where people are themselves and completely happy in themselves. And I think a lot of the shit that we put up with today just falls away when you're happy with yourself. You know what? You cannot sell shit to a woman who is 100% content in herself. She doesn't need all of the hoo-ha and all of the social media crap anymore, because she's just like, I see through you. I am awesome. Don't try and sell me the cream.
Yeah. Because
went a little bit off topic then.
Yeah, the nurture and love comes from within, and that's what the world needs, that nurture and love being extended outward. And who better to do that than women that are in their power, in a balanced way.
Absolutely, in a balanced way, and that is absolutely the key right there, Shannon. And I think that's, we're so lucky.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Thank you again. I'll see you
You're
soon.
welcome. You will. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.